Okay.
Ready?
Yep.
That feels good for me. Nah,
And
I don't like it.
say the council will be in order.
And the answer is. Okay,
All right.
the council will be in order.
All right. Yeah. Well, thank you for having help with that important duty of the city council. So first off, we are joined by Council Member Martinez, Council Member Schiltz, Mayor ProTem McFerren, and Council Member Parizek. And so we have a forum. And so next up is item number 2, approval of the agenda. Is there a motion to approve the agenda?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Is there discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And those opposed, nay. We're now to item 3, which is one item, the council minutes from January 20th, 2026. Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda?
Motion to approve.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Is there discussion? Hearing none, all in favor will signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. The consent agenda is approved. Next up is item number 4A, a beer and liquor license, a 12-month Class C retail alcohol license for Flamus Nightclub LLC that expires on January 30th, 2027. Is there a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Is there a second?
Second.
Is there discussion?
Has there been any issues with Flamus?
Yes, there has. This past few years, specifically over the summer, they were open very limited on times, but it seemed every time they were open for an event, there was an issue there. We had 2 fights, one medical where a juvenile ingested large quantity of alcohol where an ambulance had to be called, and had some other minor violations with those drinking in the parking lots and stuff. And there's one specific issue where things were getting kind of out of hand there. The owners of the nightclub, they closed the doors and it caused a fire hazard for the patrons inside and stuff. The officer had to explain to them the issue with that, and they believe that there was a presumption that the PD were going to help with their private security and stuff, which has never been the case. Stuff unless previously there was the officers were paid to be there, but that was specific arrangements that was all prior to anything recent.
Interesting. This is on my tenure as council person, this is the second or third time we've had to address this with that individual place.
They're not the easiest to get a hold of either. They
No,
multiple
we're all
phone calls.
out of town.
Yeah, they're all out of town and not out of state. So I believe
Yeah.
Chicago is where
We live. Yeah, Chicago is where they live. Yeah.
They're open very limited, but it seemed like every time they were, there was some kind of issue there. Like
Right.
And what about this lab? Did you say how things have been going lately, or?
This was just the past year. We had 3.
Yeah, these are the 3. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. Is there further discussion?
I guess I have a question for Chief, if that's okay. In your communications with them for those instances, do you feel like the city department have a relationship in order to keep some of that from happening in the future? Or
I had some minor conversations before. Unfortunately, when we were due to sit down and have a meeting, we had a large situation happen background and saying that's for that year kind of cease at the moment and stuff. I would like to have a discussion with them to sit down with Councilman Martinez and that you will sit as there for one of the instances that I agree and there was some concerns. So we would like to sit down. They seemed like they were open to sitting down for a meeting and stuff, but kind of see how things go. They did say that they were gonna work on trying to get more security and stuff, but it remains to be seen at this time.
thank you.
Is there further discussion? Motion on the floor. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Those opposed, nay.
Nay.
appears to be the days have it.
Just so everyone is aware, we can deny it here at the local, but that doesn't mean that the ABB will deny it. So we
Right.
will put it in as a denial, but that does not mean that they will deny it overall. They have the final say.
Welcome, everyone. Okay, item 4B, 12-month Class B retail alcohol license for Dogen Corporation, expiring 2/28/2027. Is there a motion to approve?
Motion approved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Is there discussion?
Yes. I have an issue here, according to their application. It's concerning to me because if you look at their application and everybody has the same questions that are asked of them. It says, does your premises conform to all local and state health, fire, and building laws and regulations? And they say no. So right away, that does not set well with me. So, and I understand that there's been some other issues with the location as well. So, I really would like an inspection of the place before it goes any further, but
They have been inspected and
Okay.
they are currently in compliance.
they are.
Mhm.
So this application must have been some time ago?
I cannot answer to the administrator of the application, and because it's my understanding, it's not the staff that completes the application, it would be through their corporation.
Yeah.
So I don't have any knowledge as to why they would say no.
Okay.
Did you have anything on that?
You know, that is submitted by corporate when they are doing it. It might be something where they mistyped it or answered incorrectly. Yet unfortunately, I wouldn't know those answers because that's submitted through ABB.
Okay.
And again, for council, if you know, based on that information, if you want to decline, and then we send it over them to get more clarification, that's certainly, you
If
know,
there was a correction I needed to make on the application, that would come back to us in a coming meeting.
nah, I don't know.
It would be dependent on the direction from
Spend what they're
ABB.
doing now, though.
What they're doing now is under the license that they're currently under, and this one would start February 28th of 2026 and go to February 28th of
But
27.
even if they investigate it, they can quickly do what's called I want to say it. They can file yeah, and then the ABD will allow them to operate.
Yeah.
But I mean, yeah,
It was just a flag for me because that doesn't reflect very well.
yep.
Is there further discussion? The motion on the floor, all in favor signify by saying aye. Those opposed, nay.
Nay.
The nays appear to have it. We will move on to item number 5, and I have a suspicion that that's why we have folks here. So we have reserve officer, Wet Deck, to swear in. So let's first have you come forward here with the chief. And we're with the flags. Okay.
It's not. I don't know what's wrong with it.
Here. Do we want just to come up to?
Sorry.
You were making it fun with the baby. Please raise your right hand. I, Keegan Whitbeck, do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States
I do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Iowa,
and the Constitution of the State of Iowa,
and that I will faithfully
and that I will faithfully
and impartially, to the best of my ability,
and impartially, to the best of my ability,
discharge all duties as police officer
discharge all duties as police officer
for the city of West Liberty, Iowa,
for the city of West Liberty, Iowa,
now and hereafter as required by law.
now and hereafter as required by law.
Congratulations. I have a feeling that folks here, particularly three young people that gaveled in the council that would like to have their photograph taken with you. So council members, I'm sure are part of this, and anybody else, officers, family, friends, people that you've met a few minutes ago, all can come up. Well,
So I just wanted to say thank you guys for coming. It really means the world to me. I know so many of you guys have had my back and pushed me into this career and pushed me to be the best I can to serve my community at the best of my abilities. And I can't thank you guys enough for the support. And the mayor allowing me this opportunity as well. And Chief Hauser always having my back. So I just want to thank all of you guys from the bottom of my heart. It means the world to me.
gotta have your things. All right, thanks. If you, yeah, so I was gonna say, pay for that, you don't have to pay. Okay. Item number 6 on the agenda, 6A, is a public hearing. Public hearing on the sale of real property and delivery of conveyance resolution number 2026-0203-305 under and by virtue of such it is proposed to sell and convey the following listed real estate. Do I need to read the track? Okay. Is there a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
Is there discussion?
Just to clarify, we are on the first section of it for opening the public hearing. You'll want to make sure you correspond that so that we have.
So that I haven't made it clear that we're opening the public hearing. Yes, right, yeah.
I can motion to open the.
Thank you. Okay, second that. Okay. All right, is there discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay.
Oh,
Oh, sorry.
Martinez,
Yes.
Schiltz,
Yes.
McFerren,
Yes.
Dominguez.
Yes.
And Parizek.
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0.
Okay, now we are in the public hearing. Are there any public comments? Are there any public comments? Are there any public comments? Hearing, is anyone aware of any correspondence? With that, then, hearing no public comments, is there a motion to close the public hearing?
Motion to close. Second.
Is there discussion? Hearing none, Emily will call the roll.
Schiltz,
Yes.
McFerren,
Yes.
Dominguez,
Yes.
Parizek,
Yes.
and Martinez.
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0.
Okay, so then we are to a resolution 2026-0203-0305, a resolution for cities and counties certification of municipal corporate resolution, sale of real estate or real property and delivery of conveyance. Is there a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Is there a second?
Second.
Is there discussion? Hearing none, Emily will call the roll.
McFerren,
Yes.
Dominguez,
Yes.
Parizek,
Yes.
Martinez.
Yes.
Schiltz.
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0.
Having successfully butchered that, we'll move on to item number 7. Public hearing on the proposed plans and specifications, form of contract and estimate of costs for the construction of the city of West Liberty E 6th Street reconstruction from Columbus Street to Corn Street. So is there a motion to open the public hearing?
Motion to open hearing?
Is there a second?
Second.
Is there discussion? Hearing none, Emily will call the roll.
Dominguez.
Yes.
Parizek.
Yes.
Martinez.
Yes.
Schiltz.
Yes.
McFerren.
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0.
Okay, we are now in a public hearing. Are there any public comments? Are there any public comments? Are there any public comments? Is anyone aware of any correspondence on this issue? Hearing none, I would entertain a motion to close the public hearing.
Make a motion to close.
Second?
Is there discussion? Hearing none, Emily will call the roll.
Parizek.
Yes.
Martinez.
Yes.
Schiltz.
Yes.
McFerren.
Yes.
Dominguez.
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0.
We are now to 7A, resolution 20060203-306, a resolution to approve the plans and specifications, form of contract and estimate for the construction of the city of West Liberty East 6th Street reconstruction from Columbus Street to Corn Street. Is there a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Is there a second?
Second.
Is there discussion?
Yeah. I was wondering, I don't know if I cover it here or wait. But I did want to find out, before I give it my blessing. If, it's too early to find out if we can still utilize the brick street or put the brick back on.
Well, as far as we wanna probably if you wanted to truly evaluate that, we'd probably wanna put a hold on setting the bid date and look at that. The cost will be, the biggest difference would be is the cost. You'd probably be looking at it would be one block, probably close to a couple $100,000, just because it's the labor, it's labor intensive, and we'd have to do a concrete base underneath the pavers there, so. I know that was a discussion for future projects, potentially. I think this one just was decided amongst when we were meeting with the city staff, that one block section right there was going to be removed to be uniform going through east from Columbus to Corn.
Correct, because of the heavy traffic that is traveling that area and then taking on potentially the new housing developments. Just from the travel and the traffic that is on it. For cost effectiveness, the wear and tear would be also consistent, and then you have the infrastructure that's going in the ground as well.
Yeah, cause unfortunately, it adds quite a bit to the price, but the whole crux of the character of this town, that's one of the aspects is the brick streets, and I believe there is a history, of that in town. So I'm really tossed.
Well, if
that.
you're familiar with driving on, if I'm thinking of Clark Street, and you can see how how it dips and it weighs way down.
Right.
And so again, that, as much as we love the aesthetics of having brick and the historic of it, the issues have become that the maintenance and the overall ongoing maintenance of that brick, quite frankly, isn't always fair to our taxpayers when, we're trying to be fiscal responsible with that money. And I understand we have a resolution and we wanna, preserve the brick streets from that historic. So I think what our conversation was is that we identify where it's best to be preserved. And we identify where it's best that based on traffic, based on infrastructure that's going in and sidewalks, that it's consistent material versus having it separated out, so.
And-
Yeah.
And the one thing we could do, is have the brick salvaged back to the city. So the city would have that, and then it wouldn't necessarily have to be for that street specifically, but if you're doing an improvement to a park, you could do a little area with that brick, or you could be doing it and saving it for other locations. There's always gonna be locations where you'll need spare bricks too, because they don't make that type of brick anymore.
Correct.
So,
And I understand, I appreciate the comments,
Yep.
but I still have to beg to differ because we have brick streets down Third Street. And that's a farm to market road. I mean, what's gonna handle semi-traffic? And it's still viable and it's still there. I can't see semis going down Sixth Street. So I really, and even though it's not the same brick, it is a brick. We're still maintaining that. So I really can't understand why that couldn't be done very similar.
no, I'm not saying it can't be, but it was more in relation, I can really do anything you want to with that street. When it comes to the brick and everything, it's more with the cost associated with
right.
it and being selective of which streets stay, because if you planned on maintaining, and I'm not saying that the council can't do that. I grew up on that street, so I fully understand the brick portion of the street.
Cause I think it's just, is it just one block?
It's one block.
It's just one block.
And that was the main reason that was part of the reason is because that's the only block east of Columbus. Make that uniform, as all concrete. And then when moving forward, when you're doing the other streets, looking at which ones you wanna keep as brick and which ones that would potentially be switched to another pavement. Those decisions haven't been made. And the one area that I know is for sure gonna stay brick is the downtown area. And so the other areas haven't been fully determined what is going to be remain there. This was more just for consistency going across the east side of the street. One, traffic, that's always a consideration. And then two is just maintenance, having just that one block of brick and then the rest of it being concrete was a big reason of just going to concrete, making it consistent. Nothing more than that.
Yeah, which that applies to with Third Street.
Yeah.
It's the same situation. Goes from brick to concrete as well. It's not the whole Third Street down to Prairie is bricked.
Correct.
So,
Well, yeah, correct. That's really that downtown.
Right,
area.
right.
The brick.
Yeah, so, okay, let me ask, the rest of the streets that go east-west on that first block east of Columbus, are there any, I can't remember if there's other brick on those other streets, like 6th, 7th, 5th Street, 4th Street.
So Fifth has
Brick.
some brick.
Fifth has brick,
Yep.
and then the others,
Pretty much concrete.
pretty much concrete.
Yeah. It's Fifth from testing my memory from
It's
traffic.
Fifth down to Clerk, I believe.
Yeah, I think it's the first 2 blocks from Columbus down to
Where we
the
have
park, and
some
then
extensive-
Fifth is also brick all the way, pretty much the entire stretch going to the west there too.
Yeah.
My personal experience has been more negative comments about the brick than positive comments about.
I had another question for Lane. Did we end up figuring? I know we talked when we first brought up the plans, talked about the width for
Yeah.
emergency vehicles. I don't know what if we end up.
We're going 29 foot. So,
Widening it.
widening it, so the first block Miller is close to 29 foot. But everything east of that is narrow, and it gets even more narrow going east of Clark.
Yep.
So it will be 29 feet going all the way down to Corn Street, connecting through to Corn Street, and then Farmers Lane is 24 feet, but that's
Right.
more due to the right of way restrictions there.
Okay, yeah. It's just a really hard decision to make when I know that the whole consensus early on was try and maintain as much brick as we could. And when we laid Fourth Street, community groups laid the brick. We didn't hire that out. Community groups did that with solicitation from the city, and then the city paid them a contribution to their organizations, and that's how that was done. So we didn't. It wasn't paid out from a subcontractor or the general contractor.
Yep.
So, but if it leaves just Fifth Street with the only brick application,
That's
which it would.
side of town.
Just on the east side, once you cross Columbus, we still have additional brick on those streets.
And Miller and Clark both have brick sections.
Yeah. Yeah, I just think, it allows the door open for, let's just pave the whole city, kind of. So that's what I'm just worried.
Well, we said, I mean, this took a significant time of our conversation. And we went over it back and forth, and the recommendation from staff for at least that section, and they're committed, and that was our conversation, and that we will continue to identify where we can feasibly, manage the brick and have the brick. Unfortunately, I mean,
Okay.
this section is what we just, again, I mean,
Yeah. Okay.
we came to it from a cost perspective and from infrastructure and the widening and all of those things. We went back and forth over it.
Yeah.
It is a big undertaking. Go ahead, sorry.
Sorry. No, I was just saying because when we relayed the brick, we didn't use any of the original brick. It was all like given away and sold or whatever.
Yep.
But it was those brick pavers.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
utilized.
And
so, but
if you ask for my opinion, I prefer to use those brick pavers that are currently in the ground, because my experience is those will last quite a bit longer than the ones that make the day.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
the ones they make the day you're doing maintenance on them after 10 years. So
And just to say, I know that was Lenny had offered that up. We just had not, as we're working through the process, we identified having the bricks pulled and then stockpiling them, for potential future use. Even replacing some of the brick that's damaged in other areas. So the other thing that I'll say the public works director also had stated is the cost for application for weed, because so if you notice on our brick streets, we get grass coming up, and so we've cut back in that from the chemical, and so that was the other thing, and then also from pushing snow, it also really is hard on the vehicles, the drivers, and the streets themselves.
Well, the nice thing about alleviating the weed or grass is you have a concrete base.
Yep.
So that's kind of nice, but I suppose it doesn't stop it totally.
Any cracks, I think any cracks, grass or weeds will grow.
Yeah.
If there's a little bit of soil or something, a little bit of moisture, it's gonna grow regardless. So
Okay, thanks. That's all I have.
Are there other questions or comments from the council? Hearing none, Emily will call the roll.
Martinez,
Yes.
Schiltz,
Yes.
McFerren,
Yes.
Dominguez,
Yes.
Parizek,
Yes.
motion passes 5-0.
Okay, now we move on to item 8A, which is the engineer's report. So information and.
Or did we do that already?
We did that. Didn't we?
Oh, yeah.
Not a whole lot to update this meeting. The big thing is getting everything ready. We'll be issuing the plans available to contractors tomorrow. I still need to coordinate a meeting with the electric utility to make sure that they're moving along and that they're on schedule with the street portion of the project. our architect will be meeting with Ally on Thursday to look at the library roof. And then after that, we'll be sending over a couple different options with some rough budget level cost of what those improvements will be. That way to, as quickly as you want to move forward with it, we could, but it was just to give you a few options there. And then the other big piece is this project, our East Sixth Street will be bidding on the 25th. And then I'll have everything ready for you to consider at the March 3rd council meeting, so. And then can't really think of anything else.
That's the neighborhood meeting.
No, that's the other thing is our, do you want me to kind of get that scheduled or does the city want to? I guess I should ask that question.
The city can coordinate with you on that, through our communications.
Yeah. As long as it's not next Tuesday or Wednesday, I should be able to make that work, so.
Okay, any further questions? Move on to other city reports. Anything, city manager, you gave a report for us to read.
Yep, I presented a report for you. The bigger part of January has been a lot of administrative work. And so I just provided an outline on that administrative work that's gone on in January, so.
Any other, I'm not aware of any other city reports. Okay, committee reports, we've not had any committees and I'm not aware of anything council reports. All right, we move to item 9A, vendor voucher claim number 1 in the amount of $445,552.57. Is there a motion to approve? Motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
Is there discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. The ayes have it, and we move to item number 10, which is the public comment section of our meeting. It's the time when members of the community can address the council. It should be on topics other than those in the agenda. And we ask that people state their name, address, and keep their comments to 2 minutes. Are there any public comment? Are there any public comments? Are there any public comments? Hearing none, we will move on to any public comments from city council members or correspondents. We'll start with Council Member Martinez.
I guess the biggest thing that I kind of got a lot of questions on was the whole shutdown on Friday for the employees. I mean, is there something we can set in stone for future like events like that where we can kind of get a basics like set of what determines a shutdown?
Sure.
You have a safety policy that was approved that has severe weather. And that's a part of that safety policy for severe weather. And so based on that policy, then we identify what we can do for work and how we will extend the work out. So, and again, early communication based on, my understanding being proactive with the communication because of our policy and allowed our staff to schedule and organize, their work for that. So the work continues. The bigger part of it is that we will not be out in the public doing our public work. Unfortunately, as much as we would love to tell our police officers and our emergency services that you can't go out in it either, we are legally obligated to have them staffing. What we do is, just ask that they take care of provisions when they're out in the elements and then and try to schedule being in out of the elements as much as they possibly can. So
this went into a broader discussion about emergency or about shelter and services in that regard. For quite a while now, I've been wanting to get all of the organizations that provide caring services in our community together to understand what each is providing, and to identify gaps in service delivery, and then start the strategic planning for addressing those gaps. That meeting will be on February 19th at 6:30, and members of the council will be invited to that. So we'll be posting that as a public meeting. Are there other?
I just wanted to tell Council Martinez, please, if you have any, ideas or input, don't hesitate. I did send a message, requesting input, trying to be, as forthcoming and presenting the information the best we could, but I'm not saying that we could improve on communications.
No.
Councilmember Schiltz.
I received a couple questions recently, and City Manager Geertz helped me address those. Had questions regarding the pool.
Yeah.
I knew that information was being gathered by staff. It sounds like that information has been worked on, and they'll continue to go through the process with the Parks and Rec Board and then present to council. So eventually more will come about from that. I also had several inquiries about the porta potty that is sitting out front of Dollar General. It was addressed that it was, correct me if I'm wrong, that it was not in violation of anything and it was there for a specific reason. I believe that things are back in order now the way they need to be, and that should be leaving shortly. And that's all.
Okay. Mayor ProTem.
I didn't have an awful lot that came about in regards to complaints or issues. I just wanted to share that I was contacted by a family in town in West Liberty that is primary Spanish speakers, and they were looking for help with references and information on where they could go, what they could do if in fact ICE does end up in West Liberty. So I did give them a few places to refer to. I know we've got information too that we can share with them, but that's all I've received.
Thanks. Councilmember Dominguez.
I think the most prominent thing is to let people know that we are having a meeting tomorrow we meet at 5:00 to put together instructions about if ICE were to come into our community, what you can do to be supportive and legally witness and observe, and how to protect yourself. And that's at 5:00 if we meet. And we'll also be putting packets together in partnership with the Indivisible 82nd group.
But we just have to clarify that that's not.
It's not a city. It's not a city thing. I'm just There a lot of people have been saying, what is the city doing about it? And obviously the council hasn't heard anything, so that's what I've been saying. So I think it'll be good that these community members are taking action and doing something. So.
Thank you. Councilmember Parizek.
It was more lines of the city shut down, but the correspondence that I see, the essential city services are still in effect. Water mains are still gonna get fixed, garbage is still gonna get fixed, the police force is still gonna be out, all that stuff, so. It's more of an information thing, I think, than because they just thought, okay, the city's shutting down. Well, that's not necessarily the case. So everything's still gonna be in place. If they need to get a hold of somebody, they can still do it to get things addressed. So.
Okay. All right, city manager.
The same thing. I had received public correspondence with regards and explained, the information and and whether individuals, that's their own assessment. In addition to that, Brittany and I also talked about, just difficult to, no matter how you say it or what you say, sometimes it's just, sometimes not always enough, but we'll continue to work to make sure we can have some clarity as to how the operations continue behind not being in the field, so. In addition to that, I received a email from Lori Liggins. She had talked about the severe weather and I corresponded with her. And in addition to that, she sent another email wanting an update on the pool. And I explained to her that currently the staff has been doing the diligent work of collecting costs, proposals for repairs with the equipment and the infrastructure just as it is. And in addition to that, the difficulties in lifeguard staffing that every year we fall short of having how many we need in order to have consistent operating hours. And our next steps, as Councilmember Schultz and we discussed, is to have a Parks and Rec so we can talk about the season. And then once they make a decision and they'll bring a recommendation to the mayor and council. Our timeline is to have that no later than the first meeting in March. We are having some difficulty getting the Park and Rec board. But we will do everything we possibly can, because if we have to take the action directly to mayor and council, I just wanted it well documented that we did follow the process with the Park and Rec board and we're unable to get them together in order to take that action. That's all I have.
Okay. City Clerk?
I do not have anything at this time.
All right, thank you. We'll move on to item number 11A, discussion and appropriate action by the City Council of West Liberty, Iowa on the sewer credit request from Crystal Primus due to a leak at 200 South Park Avenue that did not enter the city's sanitary sewer main. So first is discussion and then a motion and then consent vote. So is there any discussion?
I'll just have to let you know that I have to abstain. Chrissy's my sister.
Okay. Is there any other discussion? Is there a motion?
Go ahead, motion. I make a motion to go ahead and approve the reimbursement.
Is there a second?
Second.
And I believe that this is a consent vote. So all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. And we note the abstention. And we'll move on to item 11B, which is resolution 2026-0203-307, a resolution setting the date for the public hearing on proposals to enter into general obligation loan agreements and to borrow money thereunder. So is there a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Is there a second?
Second.
Is there discussion?
This is the general obligation bond for the 2026 East Sixth Street project.
Is there further discussion? Hearing none, Emily will call the roll.
Schiltz,
Yes.
McFerren,
Yes.
Dominguez.
Yes.
Parizek,
Yes.
Martinez,
Yes.
motion passes 5-0.
Next up is resolution 2026-0203-308, a resolution to set the date for bid letting date for the East Sixth Street reconstruction project in the city of West Liberty. Is there a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Is there discussion? Hearing none, Emily will call the roll.
McFerren,
Yes.
Dominguez.
Yes.
Parizek,
Yes.
Martinez,
Yes.
Schiltz,
Yes.
motion passes 5-0.
Okay, next up is item 11D, setting the dates for the budget work sessions, and this is a consent item. Do you have recommendations?
So I provided a memo in the council packet. I made a recommendation for a Saturday, only from I know that most of you have late evenings that you're probably working. We don't have to take those. You can do an evening work session. I was just trying to, identify something that works for everybody.
What day? Saturday.
28.
Yeah, the 28th, so, or the 7th of March. And I put those in the morning, but I'm open to, you know, what works, we'll work with our staff to flex their schedules for the.
I'm flexible for any of that.
I could do either as well.
I can't do the 28th for sure.
Can or cannot.
I'm on call that week.
So that pretty much moves it to the 7th then. And it sounds like consensus for March 7th,
That work.
9 o'clock in the morning. Okay,
I think it,
9:30.
is it 9:30 or
9.
Yeah,
what do you?
just so I can hit snooze once or twice.
Oh, okay.
I agree.
And
Okay.
a light brunch will be provided.
Okay.
all right, preview for the next council meeting, I think it's routine business, I'm not aware of any major issues or things that we have to address, so check with the city.
Could we possibly for the next meeting approve the NOLEO membership? I think I mentioned it last time.
Okay, yeah, it's already been paid.
Huh?
I think it's already been paid.
Oh, it has?
No, sorry, just emails ago.
Do you have it?
I always
I have
receive
got-
emails.
It's not paid. We will put the resolution before council. It hasn't expired yet.
Oh, it hasn't, okay.
So with on it, that's why you're still receiving it because it hasn't expired because you have the entire year for the approval of it. So I will get it on the next council meeting for the approval for the coming years. But
Awesome, thank you.
City manager, anything else?
We will have the public hearing for
Yeah,
setting the bond proceedings and we will also have the wastewater treatment plant setting the public hearing for approving the plans and specs for phase 1 along with bonding. And then in addition to that, there's an update from IMU on the electric journeyman apprenticeship that we'll look to approve on that. And most importantly, work session at 5:30, our auditor, Taylor Johnson, Bowman and Miller will be presenting the audit to council. So there will be a work session at 5:30 on the 17th.
all right. With that, is there a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Is there a second? Is there discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
it's your second.
Second.
Oh, sorry,
Sorry, I thought I heard Indy else say it. So I'll speak up.
did you hear the train on the track?
Yeah.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. The ayes have it, and we are adjourned.